Welcome to the Alpha Chili stock market community. We invite you to join. Today, we're taking you right down to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. We're going to track the November 28th moves of one of the most watched players on Wall Street, Cathie Wood's ARK Invest. So let's jump right into the action.
And there it is, the opening bell. That sound can only mean one thing.
It is officially open for business. The floor is absolutely buzzing, the tickers are already flying, and we are locked in on Cathie Wood's ARK Invest. We're going to track every single major buy and sell from their November 28th session and really try to unpack the strategy behind all those numbers.
Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the trades, we've just got a quick but really important note for everyone tuning in.
Just so we're all on the same page, the content here is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. It is not investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell anything. We disclaim all legal liability. You know, investing in the markets has significant risks and your capital is at risk. So please, before making any decisions, consult a certified financial advisor. Okay, with that covered, let's get to the opening moves.
That first hour of trading is always so critical, right? It really sets the tone for the entire day. So the big question is, where is ARK putting fresh capital to work? Let's break down the buys.
Wow, okay. Right out of the gate, there is zero ambiguity in today's strategy. The team is making a super high conviction move, and it is all centered around one specific asset class.
Now, what's so interesting here is how they're doing it. They aren't just buying, they are buying across multiple funds. You can see their FinTech Innovation ETF, ARK, scooped up over 48,000 shares. And at the same time, the Next Generation Internet ETF, ARKW, picked up another 22,000. This is not some small, tentative allocation. It's a coordinated move to seriously increase their exposure to their very own ARK21 shares BITCOIN ETF. And when you add it all up, that's a combined total of over 70,000 shares bought in just a single session. This isn't just routine portfolio management, this is a statement purchase. It signals a really clear and powerful conviction in the future of digital assets.
But crypto wasn't the only thing on their shopping list. Let's shift over to the Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF ARKQ. Here, we see a really focused purchase of KODIAK AI. Now, these are the folks developing self-driving tech for the big rig trucking industry. This move shows that alongside digital currency, ARK is still building out its position in the future of physical logistics and automation. Of course, a trading strategy isn't just about what you buy. To fund these new positions and to free up cash for new opportunities, that capital has to come from somewhere. So now, let's flip the coin and see where ARK is taking some profits off the table.
This is the other half of the story. Active management is all about buying the innovators, but it's also about knowing when to sell and reallocate. So, which companies saw their positions trimmed today?
The most significant sale of the day, hands down, is in IRIDIUM Communications. And just look at how broad this move is. They sold shares across 3 different ETFs, their flagship ARKK fund, the robotics fund ARKQ, and even the space exploration fund ARKX. When you see selling that is this widespread, it sends a really strong signal that this is a firm-wide decision to reduce exposure to the satellite company.
Next up, we see some pretty hefty profit-taking in the tech sector. On the left, you've got GITLAB, a huge player in software development, with over 200,000 shares sold across 2 different funds. I mean, that is a substantial trim. And then on the right, IBOTTA, a digital marketing tech company, also trimmed across 2 ETFs. This really suggests a strategic reallocation of capital away from some of these software names. And finally, we see a much more minor adjustment over in the healthcare space. A pretty small sale, just under 1,000 shares of Exact Sciences, the molecular diagnostics company. That was split between ARKK and the Genomic Revolution Fund. Honestly, compared to the other big moves today, this feels more like a minor rebalancing than a major strategic shift.
So, as the trading day winds down, it's time to step back and look at the big picture. What does all of today's activity really tell us about what ARK is thinking right now?
So when you lay out the entire day, the strategy becomes pretty clear, doesn't it? We saw a really decisive pivot. Capital flowed out of satellite communications and software, and it was redeployed directly into 2 of ARK's core future-facing themes, cryptocurrency and autonomous vehicles. It's really a snapshot of high-conviction investing in action.
And hey, the reader is invited to participate in the Alpha Chile stock market community. If you want to keep the conversation going, click on our Twitter account, now called X. Of course, one day is just one day. It's just a snapshot.
But sometimes these patterns can tell a much larger story. So the question this really leaves us with is whether this aggressive push into crypto, funded by sales elsewhere, is actually the start of a much bigger strategic shift. I guess that's what we'll all be watching for when the bell rings again tomorrow.